although we have a lot of options, but people usually stick to their original thing that they usually buy. Like if you go to the store, you already know what brands that you like. You already know what brands you're familiar with. It's rare to see that people actually try different brands. Yo, what's going on, guys? Today we have how I see the US after living in Europe for 5 years. Obviously, this is somebody's perspective, how they used to live here in America, then they moved to Europe for 5 years, and we're gonna see his perspective. I'm excited to see it. But before we even get to the video, let me tell you guys that we started this channel so we could get to know more of the world. Like, we started this channel so we can get to know and experience more cultures. A lot of time we here in America, we stay in our little bubble. We don't experience the rest of the world. So that's why we started the channel, to get to know more of this world, get to know more cultures, get to know more food, get to know more music, just get to know a lot more outside of the US. So if you could like, that would be great. If you can comment, that would be amazing. If you could subscribe, that would be even better. So please like, comment, and subscribe for us. Let's get straight to the video.
I just had a nightmare that I had to choose between 40 brands of toilet paper. It wasn't a nightmare. This is the US.
That's
I always
true.
enjoy coming back to the US to see family, friends, nature. The nature is unbeatable, especially in a place like California. But living in the US is sort of like living in one big Hollywood movie. It's an experience. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And after 4 years in Europe, I'm back in the US at the moment. So let me show you how I see the US now. It's time to do some grocery shopping. And of course, I hop in my car and drive 2 blocks to my local supermarket. And why walk when one can drive? Grocery shopping is an experience, an adventure. You see, I'm used to only 1 or 2 choices of brands to choose from in the Netherlands. Here, there are like 50 brands of everything to choose from toilet paper to sausages to coffee. Let's see, hazelnut, maple pecan. I'm gonna go with caramel spice this time. On one hand, the variety is amazing. On the other, it can take me up to 15 minutes to buy toilet paper. And oh, do you know?
Sorry to pause the video. One thing we do here is, like, people don't, although we have a lot of options, but people usually stick to their original thing that they usually buy. Like if you go to the store, you already know what brands that you like. You already know what brands you're familiar with. It's rare to see that people actually try different brands. Everybody have their own kind of brands that they already familiar with. That's the brands they use. So when you go to the store, if you're from here, you already know exactly what you're getting, and you don't take it that long, honestly.
Treasure, Costco. At Costco, you'll find anything and everything in the extra large. Everything
true.
really is bigger in the US. Plus the free samples, and the cheap hot dogs, and yes, unlimited drink refills. This is America.
Holy crap, the selection is crazy. And while it's really nice to come back and see all this variety in the supermarkets, from Safeway to Costco to Trader Joe's, it can be sometimes overwhelming when you have every single possible combination of coffee, toilet paper, and it can take me up to 20 minutes to buy a bag of chips. And the thing about free...
Sorry, he said something about Trader Joe's. I actually learned that Trader Joe's and Aldi's was the same store, basically. I didn't know that. I actually learned that recently, and it was kind of interesting. I heard it was 2 brothers that came up with them. It's interesting.
While I still love the concept, and I loved it as a child, it's actually not so free because it's going to cost you in the long run in terms of your health.
It's time to go
True.
meet some friends for lunch. And on the way there, I see them. Oh my. It's always a shop. The homeless.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is the sad part of the US, right? Everywhere you go, especially the major cities, man. Especially the major cities, you see homelessness. You see a lot of you really see the ugly side of the US, man. And it's sad to see. Such a big and well-developed country, and you have all these people just struggling. People don't have a place to stay. People don't have food to eat. And it's sad. It's sad to see, honestly, man.
It's the part that Hollywood never shows. But life goes on. It's part of everyday life in a big city. But I am looking forward to lunch and the food scene in the US. From Asian to Mexican to everything in between, there is
Oof,
something
that
for
looks good.
everyone.
Oh, that
And
looks
fast
amazing.
food everywhere, every
Oof.
block, every mall, every day. No wonder everyone is so big.
Man, this is one thing, bro. I'm telling you, there is fast food everywhere. I could get out my house right now and just drive 2 minutes. You're gonna see Taco Bell over here, McDonald's over there, Chick-fil-A over there. What else? Arby's over there, Zaxby's over here, man. And that's just fast food restaurant. And you have a bunch of other just dine-in restaurants. Oh my goodness, and I always talk about this. It's like I always talk about this to my friends. Bro, we have so much restaurants here and so much fast food. It's crazy. Like, why do you need that much food? You don't. You really don't. But again, it's good to have options because some days you might feel like, yeah, I need this. I'm not feeling this today. I want to eat this today. You feel me? It's good to have options, but man, there's a lot of options.
20 pounds. But I know I will lose it all when I get back to the Netherlands.
Ooh,
And
you
during
gained
lunch,
20
my friend
pounds.
mentions her son had an allergic reaction. Went to the emergency room. Luckily, he was fine, but they received a bill for $20,000. And then my other friend tells me about the time he fainted, got transported to the ER, and was handed a $10,000 bill. It's definitely.
And again, I'm sorry to keep pausing, but that's another thing, right? Another thing is like, the health insurance thing. Like, okay, there's no free healthcare, right? But I do believe, like, I do think, like, there's ways, because if you're working, most employees will get health insurance through your job. And there is other things like where you can get affordable healthcare. There's yeah, there are options for that. Although you don't, it's not free, but like, although it's not free, you do have options. You do have options.
Twice before deciding to go to the ER. And then we talk about work, which is the most American thing to talk about.
True.
And he tells me casually, it's fine, same old, had to work this past weekend. Still working 60 hours a week. And I think to myself,
If I ever decide to return back to the US, I think it would be quite difficult for me to adapt back to the American way of life, culture, in terms of working, the number of hours,
Yeah.
the stress, the lack of vacation, the fact that people don't take their vacation days. But I do miss parts of American work culture, the drive.
Yeah, one thing is here too is like again, I'm sorry I keep pausing, man. I'm loving this video, by the way. Look, one thing is like the grind culture here is crazy, man. The grind culture. Everybody here have a side hustle. Like they would work 40 to 60 hours, then still have something on the side that will bring them some type of income or that will bring them some type of fulfillment. And it's good. At the same time, there's a dark side to it where you working yourself too much or you just having no time for yourself or your family. Yes, it's good to be productive. Yes, it's good to not be lazy. But there's a fine line between laziness and just overworking yourself or not having time for your family. That's the bad part of it.
And the energy, being surrounded by people who are very ambitious about their careers, it drove me to become a better person, a more confident person.
Right, that's the good part of it.
And to be honest, I do miss that because that is part of my DNA growing up in the US. But it's a trade-off, right? It's a trade-off between, yes, you do make a lot more money in the US, but the trade-off is time.
and then we start talking about vacation. Another friend tells me about his jam-packed 1-week vacation visiting 4 countries. And I was like, how is that possible? 4 countries, 1 week? Then I remember. That's how I used to travel as well.
And that's the thing, right? When you don't have that much time, you learn to pack everything in. I remember when I was traveling to Europe during my first time, I traveled to 10 countries in 2 weeks because, well, When you only have 2 weeks, you learn to pack everything in. I had this Google Sheets, the agenda every day from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Every hour had an agenda, something to do. And that's the thing, right? When you travel so far to Europe, to Asia from the US, and you only have 1, 2 weeks, you better make the most out of your time. Now let's get back to paying the bill.
But wait, what the hell is this?
Oh boy.
Sales tax? Tip?
Oh boy. That's the one. That's the one people don't like talking about. Tipping. Tipping, man, I tip all the time. Like I'm a very generous tipper. I think it's the right thing to do. And yeah, I mean, why not? Why not? If somebody offering a service, they doing their job, they nice, they and they don't get paid as much, so why not? I usually do maybe 20%. So yeah, man, it's not that bad. It's not bad.
I need to walk off this madness and the lunch. I walk towards Stanford University, which is nearby. I walk and I walk, and then I realize that I'm the only person walking. Oh wow, it's a lot further than I thought.
Depends where you
No
are.
wonder nobody walks.
People
in the
be
US.
walking.
I arrived at campus to see a bunch of tourists. American universities, especially elite ones, are tourist hotspots. The brand name, the letters, the cost of tuition. It's one of the biggest businesses in the US. And then I overhear some people talking about the most recent mass shooting.
A mass shooting at an American school in suburban Denver.
They are 25 days in, and there have been 40 mass shootings.
It seems like this.
Man, again, that's another hard topic, man. The shootings, bro. Man. Again, for a country that's that well developed, and we have these things just still happening, man. It's sad to see, honestly. It's honestly sad to see, honestly, man. That's all I gotta say.
The police, they beat up someone else again. What's sad is that many people no longer trust the police.
True.
And I know plenty of great police officers, but all it takes is a few bad apples to ruin
That's
it
true.
for the rest of them. Now I wonder what the news outlets are saying, because I've stopped reading the news. It's like this all-out war, CNN versus Fox. You get two different stories. It seems like such a divided country nowadays. The left versus the right, Democrats versus Republicans, the police versus the world.
And this is the thing that always shocks me when I come back now. How divided the country has become. I mean, you can literally lose a friend because of politics. The media has done a role in pitting this group versus this group as well. And it's sad because it doesn't seem so united anymore. It seems quite divided every time.
That's true. However, it's like it's not as bad as people make it seem though. It's like okay, how can I put this? You can have a conversation. People are more willing to have conversations than the media or even people make it seem like. You have people. When you meet people, the first thing that comes to mind is not politics. People are still cool. People are still nice, and people just have regular conversations. And even if the conversation comes to politics, it's still there where people are still having conversations, or if you on the right side of things, and you just share views. If you're on the left side of things, and you guys share y'all views, and although we don't agree, but there's something called agree to disagree. A lot of times that's what happens, and it's not always war. It's not always like people are fighting each other because of their political views. A lot of times, man, you have your views, I have my views, and there's some things that we agree on, there's some things that we don't agree on. We just keep it pushing, and I haven't seen, maybe again, it's different certain places. Where I am, it's not like that. We have conversations. You Democrat, you Republicans, we still have conversations. You like Trump, this person like Biden or Camilla, whatever. We have conversations about it. it's fine. After the conversation, still give each other a hug, still shake the other person's hand. We just keep it pushing, man. It's that simple.
And the thing about the police, well, the police, they have such a bad reputation now, when in fact they should be part of the community protecting people. And yes, there have been very unfortunate events that have happened, but when I think about the majority of the police officers that I have met in the past, they've been good people, genuinely good people. And nowadays we tend to label people based on this profession. It's a bias, when in fact I think it's wrong to do that.
Right.
I think we should judge people based on their character, not on a label that we attach them to. But yeah, I hope things get better. I don't think so in the short term, but I hope things get better.
But hey,
I understand both sides of that, right? One side you have the police officers. Some of them just doing their job. Some of them literally just doing their job, and they get hate just for being an officer. I also understand the other side where it's like you have police officers. You have some police officers just abusing their power of authority and just do whatever they want. And because of those, like he said in the video, because of those people, you have the public just don't respect them. You have the public just don't trust them. You have the public don't even call them when they're in trouble because they think that the officers won't be on their side. And it's kind of weird, but you got to understand both sides of it, man, because you don't know what police officer you're going to get. You can call an officer and you might get one of the bad ones, you know, and you might call. Most of the time you're going to call and you're going to get the good ones, but you just don't know.
restrooms are still free in the US. It's time to head to the mall to do some shopping.
He said what? I didn't get that one.
Restrooms
Sorry.
are still free in the US.
Wait,
It's time to
restrooms are not free in Europe? Wait, so if I go in a public restroom, do I have to pay for that? Please tell me in the comments. I really don't know.
head to the mall to do some shopping and say hello to American consumerism and overly friendly customer service people. Shopping in the US is sort of like a game, looking for deals, getting credit card points. It can be extremely fun and addicting.
True.
But this is all part of the game of American consumerism.
Mhm.
So be careful, or else you'll be in credit card debt like a dearth of Americans. Well, it's late and it's time to head home. And of course, there's traffic at 3 p.m.
Yep.
And this
It's
guy
called rush hour.
just cut off the cyclist. It's quite a shock to see bikes, cars, buses, motorcycles all merging together in one lane. It can be quite dangerous to cycle in an American city. I then go and meet some friends for a drink, and I meet all these techies. And of course, I get asked the popular question.
Hey, so what do? I make YouTube videos.
Yep.
Oh, so you work for
That's the most popular question you're gonna get here. First thing how are you? Whatever. Then you're gonna get, what do you do for a living? What do you do? You're gonna get that question all the time. You always gonna get that.
No, I just make videos. Oh. Okay. So this is something that Americans do really well. We tend to compare ourselves against one another. It's a very competitive society. And we do this at a very young age. Which school, which college did you go to? What type of job, which company, who got promoted? It's part of the system. It's a very competitive society, in my opinion, compared to other societies. And I remember there was one time when I first started off my career, I was working in the Big Four accounting firm, and I went out to a bar with some friends. They were all investment bankers, and I was talking to this one girl who was an investment banker. And of course, we talked about what we did. And when I told her that I worked in a Big Four firm, she kind of looked down upon me and said something very judgmental, like, oh, you only work at a Big Four company. And so I just remember feeling very crappy at that point in time, like I wasn't good enough. But I don't blame her. It's the system that we grow up in. And we tend to judge each other based on what we do.
What
Yeah,
a
that's true.
long, exhausting day. Just another day in Hollywood. Just another day in the US of A.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching. This was a deep deep video. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, you know. And I thank you guys for watching the whole video. Thank you guys for sticking with me. Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff he said, they're all true. They're accurate, man. A lot of the stuff, man. Again, thank you guys for watching. Yeah, I hope to see you soon on the next one. Bye bye.